This is Cookie Chat with Girl Scouts of Eastern Missouri.
Well, hello, welcome to Cookie Chats. Thank you for joining us. I'm Michelle Johnson, I'm the Director of Product Programs here. Welcome back to those who have already tuned in to one of our earlier episodes this season. The Cookie Chats are designed to help guide our Girl Scout cookie volunteers and families into helping them this season and have the best Girl Scout cookie season they can have with helpful tips and tricks. Today I'm on site at A-Mrazek Moving Systems in Kirkwood. And one of our busiest pickup locations, and they handle some other ones as well in the area. We're going to have an inside look, get some tips from our colleagues over here, and learn about the pickup process for cookie initial orders. So just a little background. Our cookie program for Girl Scouts, we contract with Little Brownie Bakers in our Eastern Missouri Council, and they contract with two local moving companies, A-Mrazek and Kirkwood out of Earth City. The companies, they provide a lot of help for us. They provide cookie storage facilities, which you'll see shortly, on-site and off-site staffing to help load cookies and count cookies, the equipment for the cookie pickup and everything, as well as weekly cupboard deliveries to our volunteers who host cookies in their homes and their garages throughout the season. They help restock those throughout that boost part of the program. But we really value these partnerships. We cannot do what we do without them. You all cannot do what you do without the help of people like Ryan here to get cookies moving this year. So cookie pickup time can be anxiety inducing, but it can also be very exciting. And there are a few steps and things we want to talk about today to make sure everything goes as planned for you. This is Ryan, by the way. I'm going to introduce him. I've got some questions for him shortly. But some of the things just to remember at the beginning I'm going to tell you is one, you should have your cookie pickup time, date, location, and slot in your eBuddy system. If you did not pick one yourself, we had to pick one for you because it was not done and we have to submit our order with everybody. But you can go in to your delivery tab in eBuddy and print your delivery confirmation. That confirmation has the date, where you're picking up, including the address, and any notes about that particular site if they're in there. And then it also has some really good information about what kind of vehicle you are needed for the number of cases you're picking up. So my example here, for instance, has for 194 cases, so it's a good size pickup, they need maybe one cargo van or two pickup trucks, and that lists a couple of different options for vehicles. And then it has a few more helpful hints. And this is something that you want to have on hand when you come because it has your troop number and everything on it, but you don't need it printed. You can bring a PDF, you can have it on your phone as well. So other pieces arrive on time because it is a tight schedule. And Ryan can talk a little bit more about that. Always making sure you have enough vehicles to hold all your cookies when you're there initially, not having to come and go back and forth if at all possible, because that can disrupt the schedule for other troops. And then just planning ahead and making sure that you get there and you know where you're going. So we've got some great information. There's still some tips in your troop guide as well. But before we go on a tour, we're going to talk to Ryan, and he's going to share some stuff about how things work here at A-Mrazek. So first, how long has your company been doing cookies and partnering with our council?
A very long time. We know it's been over 30 years. We've been partnering with the council, doing cookies, helping with various other programs as called upon and as needed. And we love this time of year when it rolls around.
So you love it. It is exciting. But why do you love it? What makes it exciting?
The days are busy. We see so many smiling faces. You know, we go from being at home during Christmas to holidays, and we come in, our warehouse gets filled up with all these cookies, and we start getting the buzz of knowing that in a week these cookies are in and then they're out. You know, so we start getting them in January, and they come in, and we start doing our prep work long before, and we just get ready to kind of run with it all.
Goodness. And I saw a sign back there near his office that was letting people know what dates cookies are going to be here and when the program's running, so that all the staff has a heads up over here. Do you have an idea of how many pallets you are here right now?
So pallet-wise, I know we have about 70,000 cases. So individual cases are 70,000. There's 12 boxes a case, so everyone can do the math to see how many individual boxes we've taken in, and we'll come in and out, and then once everything gets finalized, we might get another partial truckload to add a little bit more fun to the mix.
Yep. All right, so let's talk cookie pickup.
Okay.
Happens in a short amount of time. What does a volunteer need to look for when picking up at your site here in Kirkwood?
Got it. So here in Kirkwood, we'll have signs kind of lining the street. We do have 2 entrances. We have a bigger main entrance. We'll use that more for trucks delivering and picking up. Our back entrance, all signage is there. That's where we'll come in. As soon as you pull up the hill, we'll have a vehicle waiting with a check-in sign. That's where you can check in. That's why it's important to have your troop number and everything ready, because we'll verify, we'll mark it off. We'll help point you in the right direction from there, which line to go to in our warehouse. And then that's when the men and women will be waiting for you to kind of do the same thing. We'll again ask the troop number just to verify that we're all correct. We'll also look to see what your count is with our count, make sure everything is running smooth here. And that's when we'll count them up, load them up, and wave on the way.
All right. And you mentioned there'll be signage. So I think we have another warehouse where people can pick up in our city. They should have signs as too. But your directions might take you to the main office. You don't want to go to the main office. You want to pay attention to those signs because they typically take you to where the trucks are and in the fenced in areas. So be looking for that. And if you find the office and you're lost, just reach out. Maybe pop in and they'll help you.
You can ask. We'll guide you to the right spot if it becomes confusing.
Yep. Okay, so we've got warehouses almost every day, but you also run off-site pickup locations such as Walmart in Fenton or Grants Farm. So what do volunteers need to look for when they're going to those off-site locations?
It'll be similar. There will still be a check-in spot with a check-in sign. We'll have trucks, trailers staged there with our logo, with our team in it. So when you check in, each trailer will have its own line for us. So when you go to Grants Farm, we'll tell you to go to line 1. It's important to go to that trailer. That's where your troops' cookies are. So basically, once you check in, they'll kind of help guide you from there. So again, that troop information is very important. That's kind of what'll get everything started, and then we kind of help take it from there.
Yeah, that was my question, was the line number, which is on your confirmation, because we don't necessarily expect you to remember it, but line 1 means that they've got your cookies in that line. So if you go someplace else, they may not have as many as you need, so follow their instructions. But that's what it means, is they can accommodate multiple pickups at one time when they've got multiple lines. So that's always nice. All right, to make the process go as smoothly as possible, it's important to plan ahead, as we've said. So what are some other things from your perspective that cookie volunteers can do to make sure everything goes smoothly and without incident?
Right, that's what we want, what we hope for. You hit a lot of it on the head with the timeliness, the vehicles, that sort of thing, having everything ready when you're here. Big thing with vehicle, the recommendation does kind of assume an empty vehicle.
Yes.
Sometimes we're coming after a grocery trip or picking up the kids. Okay, that's fine. We'll work around everything, but also keep that in the back of the mind. If there's sporting equipment, something like that back there, we've loaded down some vans pretty good with the kids Tetris between some boxes too. So we'll work around anything, but just kind of tuck that stuff in the back of the mind and just communicate. If we run through troops very quickly, we kind of get it down pretty quick. If it seems like it's too fast, or hey, I think we recount this, just stop. We're having fun, we're running together, so just don't hesitate to, hey, slow it down a second or stop and make sure everything's, so we check it off, you're in and out one time and go from there.
That is a great tip, because we do get a number of calls from people that may say that they didn't have 20 cases of whatever, or they're missing something, or they have too many. And that's why it's really important to take that time to count with them, double check things if you're not so sure. Once you get cookies, pull off to the side, maybe out of the way, and just double count. Sometimes it happens where they've counted, everything's good, but then some may get forgotten to load in the car. So just make sure that it's just much easier to do it then, and then instead of taking care of it later. Yeah. And so definitely a good tip. Tell them to slow down. You have his permission. So what if a troop cannot make their scheduled time? What should they do?
So that should be communicated. Don't just show up to a different spot. With the lines and the counts, we put a precise amount in each line. We're not just putting these full pallets and lines in trucks. We have a precise count, so we know at any time what's going to be there. So if you can't make it, your cookies will still be with that line. So that's why it's important to communicate what's going on and when. We'll all work together to put a new time and a new place in. It's always easier if you can't make an offsite. All the cookies are here, so it is easy. I can't make Walmart. We might always just direct you on over this way. We have a little more flexibility here to pull cookies from where we stage and build the cookie pallets together, rather than an offsite spot where we have a precise amount on the truck that's needed for that day.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, let us know, contact the Answer Center if there's an issue with it, because we cannot change it in our system right now. So everything has to be done, kind of worked out on the back end. A-Mrazek manages pickups for a certain number of locations, typically the ones that are like south of 64 for the most part, and our other agent does north of that. So if you can't make it, we want to schedule you to go to the correct moving company's warehouse. So it's important that you talk with us about that first. Okay, it's winter. It's St. Louis. I hear words of winter storm early next week, which won't affect cookie pickup.
No.
But what happens when the weather goes astray?
Yeah, we had a little taste of that last year.
Yes, we
We
did.
were supposed to get a
February
dusting.
16th, I think.
Yeah, who remembers the date exactly what it is? But we're supposed to get a little dusting, not going to stick, and 2 hours, 4 inches later, we had a big old mess. And so
did.
we communicate as soon as that happens. Safety is first and foremost for our men and women coming in to distribute, for our drivers, the lots, and for those coming to pick up cookies. Some of the lots can't get plowed as quickly. We work really well out of here, getting everything ready to go here. But it does become communication. Last year when it happened, everyone worked really well together. We know it's important to get the cookies for booths and for everything. But this, everyone showed up kind of the following day. We didn't know what we were going to get into, and I kind of almost felt like a kitchen of, I need 48 tags and 32 Samoas, and someone's grabbing each of them. We're putting them in cars, and it all works out in the end somehow. But inclement weather will communicate if there's going to be any closures, delays, planning off sites, things like that. We try to get that done pretty early. And if we're going to err on anything, we're going to err on the side of safety and caution. We'd rather look back and say, maybe we pulled them too soon or should have done something different, as opposed to saying we left them out there too long and it became a hazard, or someone stranded or spun off or anything like that. That's not what we want to have.
It's just cookies, right?
At the end of the day, right? At the end of the day.
Yeah, so you're talking just more snow, freezing rain type of stuff. But rain, we will do cookie pickup in the rain.
Yep, we will.
We won't say
going.
heat because it's not an issue, but rain or shine, but snow, depending on what's happening and safety-wise, let us know. We will communicate this information via email to troops that are scheduled for pickups on a day that might be impacted by any weather delays. We will also put it on our Rally Hood and Facebook pages, so that we might hit you on multiple fronts, so we apologize, but we want to make sure that you get that message because your time is important as well. All right, so if a troop does get home, they thought they counted and they come up, they're short. What do?
Again, just communicate. Give a call into you guys, into our office with Diane. She handles a lot of that. Because again, we have a precise count. I mean, it has happened. I am missing my 8 do-si-do, and someone looks off to the side, and there were the 8 do-si-do sitting there, again, talking on, getting distracted, whatever, something happened. But a lot of times we have a process in place to kind of go back to make sure and ensure that something along those lines happened. Most of the time, like you said, they just got screwed over there. I didn't know what, I saw those and didn't know what they were for. And so most of the time it can get worked out, but do communicate. Don't just pop back in unless, you pulled off to the side. Hey, I'm missing these, and then we can verify. But if you do get home and realize that we're missing something, communicate. We'll go through our process and get everything figured out.
Yes. So if they are loading up and they're counting, in the process of counting when they're here, and they notice some damaged cases, what should they do, and what would your staff normally do to handle that?
At that point, just point them out. We kind of keep a spot for damage. We work with the bakery on kind of what we have, what's come in, and we try to keep those aside. They do have guidelines on what is considered a damaged case and what is not. So we follow the bakery's guidelines based on damages too. But again, just point it out. We'll work with you guys as we're loading up.
Yep, and when you get home with those cookies and you're distributing, you're sorting it for your Girl Scouts to pick up, and you might see the outer case has a little damage, be sure to open that up, because inside the packages might be perfectly fine. And so you might get more out of it, and maybe you only have one damaged package that we can easily replace, and we can take care of that with the Contact Girl Scouts. So, all right. Any other tips that you want to make sure you share before we go check things out around here?
For sure, it's a fun day. I think I mentioned we all have fun, whether it's 7:30 in the first one, 5 o'clock the last one. We want to make sure everyone's having a good time and smiling. We do love when the kids come and they're going to be a part of it too. It's a great time for us, and as we're getting the cookies, as you guys are setting up booths, if there's a gentleman that comes and asks where you got your cookies from, it's a good chance it's our president here. So tell him A-Mrazek, tell him it was spectacular. He'll probably by your booth shut you down for the day.
That
You guys
would be
can move
amazing.
on.
Great
So
tip.
just remember that. But all joking aside, it's great for everyone. We take a lot of pride in helping the Girl Scouts and doing a great job. The men and women that do this do take a lot of pride in the work and what they're doing. So they really do want to do a good job. So feel free to leave some feedback, tell them that kind of stuff as well. We do enjoy hearing feedback. It all does get passed along, and a little note does make people's day sometimes.
Yes,
so they're a long day, so hearing that they did a good job on a 4 o'clock pickup after they've been here for 10 hours already will mean a lot.
Thanks.
So,
That's great. We really appreciate all that. And when you're coming for your cookie pickups, just be patient, be gracious, take your time, and just have fun with it, and be excited that part's done.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, the next thing we're gonna have Ryan's gonna show us around where the cookie pickups happen here, and might take a look at where all some other cookies are being stored.
Yeah. All right. Good spotlight shot of it too, with the signs we'll have at each door. It's all emptied out back here.
So each door will be a line, depending on if we've got a line scheduled for that
We'll
day.
have signage out for the lines.
Well, thank you, Ryan, for showing us around and sharing your process and being a great partner. I appreciate that and your commitment to our community. Thank you all for tuning in to this week's episode. On next episode, we will help prepare your Troop for Cookie booth. So have a great week, and thank you for supporting the Girl Scout Cookie Program.